Hi. I guess it's recording now.
Hi, this is Rich, and welcome to my blog and Avila's blog. We're going to do an entity release work session. We don't know if we're going to upload it or not yet, but just in case. Okay, so you can watch or not. Here we go. Uh, yeah, so generally, how do you want to schmooze into this? Is there a certain area or subject or a certain entity or a certain event that happened that stirred up your entity stuff or got you focused on the subject or what?
Well, not really. It's more like it's been a while since I've did this sort of work, like entity removal, and I know that I had the most wins in my life when I was doing this sort of work. So I'm like, hey, why not? Like it's been a while, so I want to repeat it and do some more. So that's why I brought it up yesterday, and today I was just like, before we were getting ready to get on camera, I looked at some topics like possible things to address because it doesn't seem natural to me. This whole like priority thing. I mean, like it's a personal thing of what I'm prioritizing in life, but at the same time, it seems like I'm having a harder time kind of like not sure if communicating to people is good enough, but like getting back to them is harder than usual. And I mean, like, all the emails and comments and our stuff, like, it's explainable. But at the same time, it's like, it's this unnatural resistance for that. So that's one area. Also, like, maybe some inner fears that's sort of pushing me away or limiting me at some point, maybe that. Um, Less self-trust to where I'm like, uh, specifically I'm making videos and stuff because I have topics, but then I'm like, I'm not sure if it's good enough. I like have a hard time picking a subject, and like there's tons of them. People like write me out a lot, and I love it, and I like getting back to them. But at the same time, it's getting harder. And with all that, I think that it's not so much me, even though I'm doing a lot of work to help myself. But at the same time, there are entities messing with me and limiting me in all these ways, causing these negative feelings, negative thoughts, and it's a great video to like, hey, I'm noticing something regarding this subject. We can address it and show people how it's done, sort of.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
And we can
Uh,
even look at some other places because I'm just like, I'm more like, okay, just looking through general areas in my life, and I notice entities here, 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 and every subject I can pick, I will see entities like related to that. So I just looked at a few, but we can even talk up some more and see if there's anything else, something bigger maybe, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Just saying.
well, we could start with it getting harder to get back to people and
Sure.
see if there's an entity phenomena related to that issue.
Yeah.
Yep. Shall we?
Mhm.
Good. Okay. So tell me a little bit more. The way we'll do it for the audience, if anybody's watching, we're just going to talk about the issue for a little bit. And then normally as we talk about the issue, the person will get more and more aware of the entity interference, if there's some entity interference there. But we just start with just about talking about the issue itself. So tell me a little bit more about it getting harder to get back to people.
Well, I'm really enjoying my growth in that, like social media, like YouTube and, Instagram and other places. And I really appreciate it and like it. And at the same time, I'm noticing that with all the emails I'm getting, with all the comments and questions and people needing help, uh, there are lots of times where like I reply to like 50 of them and I need to do sessions, I need to do other things, I need to connect with you, I need to work on my own like personal projects. And when it comes to getting back to people, it's just like at some point it gets like um too much, or like like there's this resistance. It's not like I have like certain feeling or emotion towards people. I'm like, I appreciate them, I like that they're writing to me, and like I want to work on that. And at the same time, like there's this unnatural resistance, and I'm like, what is that? So like that's where I'm like, that's not me like feeling that, like. And that's the thing that, like, if entities were to mess with me, affecting my feeling states towards that, affecting like my thoughts and other things, it could easily sort of get me into the place where I don't reply to people, and people are like, well, what's the point watching if she's not talking to us? Like it's simple. So I think like, for them, it's one of the ways to like sort of like maybe affect me to where I'm being like making like lots of content and stuff, and it's a way to stop me sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you were to focus in, do you feel this in your space, in your body, your heart, or just just an idea or a thought form, or what?
I guess like a little bit in my chest. There's quite a few there. Like if I would like to do it usual way, like I close my eyes and I get out of body and like then scan my body, my surroundings, and safe space and stuff like that. But yeah, like when I feel that sort of resistance, it's in my chest. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just do it the regular way. Do you like, if you were to close your eyes and start scanning for entities regarding this unnatural resistance and making it being hard to get back to people, you think you could spot some stuff?
Yeah. So to explain to people, what I usually do is like when I close my eyes, I shift my consciousness and I get out of body, and then I start like scanning everything, my body, my surroundings, rituals, or like whoever I'm connected to. Like I scan like me and every person that I will feel resistance to, like even if it's just anonymous name to me, I will like sort of feel the person and just get there and try to clear off their space, and also go out and out of like this place and like the whole multiverse and check out for anything else. So that being said, I'll close my eyes and focus in on that resistance feeling I have inside and go from there.
Okay. Good deal. Start. That. That.
Okay, so like a little stop. I'm still like checking my body and stuff, but a lot of fantasies blew away by me just talking about it and having the awareness of it. And at the same time, as I'm getting deeper into it, there are entities who will literally follow my thoughts. And whenever I'm like, oh, this person like has a sort of question or something, I need to reply to them, or not need, but I want to like get back to them because it's just like my behavior and I like that. But what happens is that when I see someone writing to me and I'm in the place where I'm going to reply, and that's where I get that resistance, these entities will basically create thoughts that are like, hey, I need to do this, I need to do that. And all of a sudden, all these priorities I'm talking about are not necessarily mine. More like, entities are like, hey, they're pushing it. They're pushing my buttons because they know what I like. They know what's important to me in my life. And they might use that against me so that I'm going to be engaged. I will love that process and stuff. But at the same time, person who really needs my help or really needs that answer will not get it, because at that point where I'm going to reply to the person, the sanity will affect my thoughts and feeling states and shift me into another priority and get me to move on to something else and not reply to them. So that's one of the things. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So I'll continue the scanning and getting rid of them and stuff like that.
Okay, good deal. Continue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as I'm removing these entities from my space and also connecting to people who are like waiting for my reply, there are entities who will enhance their negative feeling state. Like if I don't reply or they don't get what I want, what they don't get what they want, that negativity or overreaction is sort of like amplified, and they or like have a bigger negative reaction. And as I'm like starting to clear off that, I get a headache right here. And like these entities are literally like directing their energy weapons to like mess with me as I'm like clearing them off. So I have to go sideways, deal with that, and then come back to helping people.
Uh-huh. Okay. That. What?
Yeah, I'm instantly like, where's this coming from? And the moment I'm like, okay, two spaceships, boom, like disappears because I teleport instantly to their spaceship, like in my out of body experience. And like there's like grace over there, like they're like literally got command from reptilians, and so they're like, using their weapons and technologies to mess with people. And they were beaming me, and the moment I get on the ship, they're like, and like they all stop, and they cannot use their technology because they know I'm there, so like instantly stop. So I'm gonna deal with them and go from there.
Okay. Hey,
But
this reminds me.
the headache blasted away. Like the moment I got on the ship, it went
Yeah,
away.
yeah. This reminds me of like, how can people be doing this? It's like there's millions of people on this planet, billions,
Yeah.
and extraterrestrials and spaceships tracking humans. Really? Well, think of it like this. Let's say you had a very sophisticated sheep ranching operation, and you had literally over 50, 100,000 sheep, on these various pastures on the pasture land. But every one of them was chipped. When they were born, there's chipped. And now you got your great computer systems and your Wi-Fi, and anytime one of these sheep steps outside of the range that they're supposed to be in, signal fires off. So you've got, it's all AI automatic on your laptop or whatever. Oh, we got some sheep getting out, and you maybe have some drones fly over there and push them back in, scare them off. Or you got more sophisticated technology, and you tweak a thing, and it'll give a little beep in the chip that will give a person a headache or anything like that. It goes bzz, and it'll make the sheep is indoctrinated to stop doing what they're doing and go back to the crowd or the herd or something. That kind of technology is simple to wrap my head around here in this world. So if you just imagine the same sort of thing with these civilizations that have been around for millions upon millions of years with advanced technology for millions of years, you can go, would it be possible for not to lock into every human being on some genetic or DNA level, or something that I don't know about specifically, nanoparticles, smart dust, programmable? I go, yeah, I guess that'd be okay. Yeah. So with that said, I can see logically how it'd be possible for spaceships off planet in the physical or the non-physical realms to be tracking us like this and monitoring our thoughts, and to keep us down and unconscious and in control, so we don't wake up to how powerful we really are. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, that being said, it also like reminds me of like two things that I want to say. One, it reminds me of this anime called The Promised Neverland, where the kids are living like in the orphanage, and like it's all like the walls are around the orphanage, so that they can never quit until they get to the age of 12, and then they're shipped off the house because like someone's gonna adopt them. But it's the actually like demons and entities adopting them, eating them, and like taking out the brains and stuff like that, and whoever they eat, they get the abilities from that person. But what reminds me is that all of the kids in that place are chipped, and they're all being tracked all the time, and if anyone gets out, they're targeted right away. So South Korean anime. And moving on, there's also this like astral bodies, and I've had tons of movies where our astral bodies are being kidnapped and injected, or like they have implants and other things. So they literally can like you go to sleep, but you don't remember what you've been doing. You don't have the memory of that, and someone could have like taken your body, wiped your memory, and also implant you with stuff. So now you get back to the body, you're continuing your life, but whenever you're doing something and it triggers one of their systems, you get like some sort of like sensations or entities messing with you and all kinds of that stuff. So just saying.
Yeah, very interesting. Oh, and one last thing, there's many different ways to address these sort of subjects, as entities and these ETs and astral body abduction stuff. You can really actually begin with law of attraction sort of techniques. It has to do with your very powerful imagination, and what we think and imagine in our imagination can come to pass. So we can imagine protection of all kinds, imagine going after them, dealing with them. Just all kinds of powerful things are possible just using your basic law of attraction sort of principles. So, because I don't want to scare anybody like, oh no, I'm going to be good. Fuck that. No, there's things you could start doing right away to address this. You don't need to have an entity session to get rid of the entity stuff. There's lots of ways it'll work. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so coming back to the spaceship that I was, where Grace were messing with me, and just gonna see what's up there now.
Okay, continue. Pat.
Okay, so in the spaceship, they pretty much know who's the authority over there. So like they stopped all of that like messing, and all of those Grace like literally came out in one place and like lined up, and like they're standing and waiting for what's next. And now I have choices just to leave them with like, hey, don't do that again, or else, or just like literally just take them out or something else. So, do you have any options?
Well, one possibility without actually blowing them up or killing them or turning them into dust is to look into their space and their consciousness and reprogram their values. You know, right now they're in whatever, you know, they're serving a different master. They'll probably do anything you want, you know, if they had the right master, different master. Oh yes, boss, you know. So, but there's just some options.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's reprogram it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And putting safeguards in so that the other bad guys can't come back and reprogram them back the other way.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, like they have the hive mind, and I like tune into them, but it's like a radio channel. It's like a transmission, like it just keeps going one after another, like all of these chit chatters, but a different like, you know, tunes. And I have to like, you know, find a specific tune for these guys, you know, like so that cut them out of the whole system and stuff.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Or go the big picture, just everyone.
Let's just do that. Fucking yeah, let's just do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I'm just tracking all of them. So far, like there's 836 planets where they have their bases and colonies, and I'm just like tracking like, okay, Grace, this channel, how many? And I'm just like counting, like, you know, I'm seeing all of these planets, but their numbers like keep on growing. So like I'm
like,
going
like ants,
exactly
galactic ants.
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, 971 planets. It's quite a bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That.
It's interesting. So I'm taking over like their like transmission and uh, like reprogramming, like deleting everything they had negative that they had, and putting a new program of like how they will help me and like giving new commands and stuff, and also like making safeguards so that no one else can like hack it and stuff. And what happens is I'm like doing it and I like reprogram it. The place where I felt the pain and stuff turns into as if it just keeps on coming, but it's positive and it's strong and it's like just empowering feeling. And I'm like, hey, this is like all of a sudden like while I'm even like I haven't even finished yet and it's already like working. So
Wow. That's great. Continue.
yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like I'm done with the grades, like I'm completely done with now, and now I'm like moving back to where I started, like and working with myself and people. And there was this like one like more of an agreement or command that people had that whenever they want to get in touch and the thing that they're gonna ask or say, and will give them the right answer, will help them, will sort of like they would get stopped even before that, and the place where they want to ask the question they can never get to that because there's this like inner fear, inner like stop, like hey, don't, like you're gonna bother someone, like all these negative thoughts that will like stop people from doing something because they're like gonna start being considerate, but like it's not natural, and like all of these things will basically not bring them any benefit. So like I'm removing any of these so that people would have more freedom asking and getting what they need. So I'm doing that, and I think we're kind of like done with this one. I want
Good.
to like there's this entity work now. Probably would be great to touch on any soul contracts and then any missing soul aspects.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll go look for some agreements I have.
Okay, good. Start. Mm-hmm. That,
Yeah, I'm like removing a lot of agreements, and I'm finding this one key agreement, or like the bigger one, where if I don't get back to people, they're gonna leave me. And it's been there since my childhood, pretty much. Like with people in my life, like, you know, if I don't say anything to my mom or someone, they just leave and get away. And it's like it's gonna be a while until I'm gonna see them and stuff. And it's just like it's kind of overwhelming and stuff. So just getting rid of that one, I sort of like brought my body way more energy now. It's like this wave of like good feeling, like sort of relief comes in. It's pretty good.
wow, yeah, well done.
Yeah, so I'll
Good.
look for some more and we'll see there.
Mhm. Good. Mhm. That, mhm. That,
Yeah, I accidentally tapped into one of my past lives.
oops. Yeah,
Oops.
what else? What happened?
Um, I was with a team on this planet and sort of like exploring, and we tried to get this artifact, and I was like really close to getting it, but our team is like calling back like, hey, get back to the spaceship, we're leaving. And I'm like, wait a minute, just like a little bit. And I'm like busy getting it because I'm like, I'm so close, finally get it. And I'm like, hey, you know, pick me up. They're not there, they left. And like I'm like, oops. And so for 50 years I had to survive on that planet alone. Proud of that.
Yeah. So in this life, you have a few issues about this sort of subject. Yeah,
Yeah, about that.
about that. Good
Getting
deal.
back to people, huh?
Yeah, important. Good point.
It reminds me of like I was taking a shower this morning, and I'm just like you know, washing off and stuff, and I recall my past lives about like what triggered me to be in so like ultra into like I need to be clean, I need to be clean, I need to be clean.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I had like 2 or 3 recalls like while taking a shower, like fuck.
Yeah.
But anyway, coming back here, like yeah, it's good to be aware of that experience. Like
Yeah, yeah.
so I
Good
guess I
deal.
can come up for some missing soul aspects, and we're kind of done with the process.
Okay, soul aspects, soul fragments, sort of things. Okay, go for it.
I'm trying to get my soul aspects back, but I'm getting a second recall of my past life, and it's
Okay.
pleasurable because I don't have much details right now, but the only thing I know is my head's been squished, like like
Wow.
ouch.
Yeah. Well, let's look into it. It's probably connected, or it wouldn't have happened. So.
Yeah, yeah. Like I know it's like totally related to this not getting back because
Mhm.
I need to do something and didn't do it in right in time. Like it seemed like as if someone was holding the button or something, and I wasn't getting in time, and like they release it and ouch.
I see. Uh huh. Well, okay. Can you move to that time when you're getting that feeling and with this idea of not getting back?
Yeah, but we can call it like squished head or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, squished head. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. yeah, I just like recall the incident, and as we depict it, I'll be able to get more details of it.
Okay. Yeah. How do you want to proceed? We're going to have you look at the incident, the squished head incident that had something to do with not getting back, and you can just go through it in detail and confront it and see all the stuff. And I can just, when you're done, you can tell me about it, or I can guide you through each step.
Yeah, you can guide me. Let's do that.
Okay. So move to that incident of the squished head past life thing about not getting back. Move to the beginning of that incident. Let me know when you're there.
Okay.
Good. What do you see?
Well, I'm here, stuck, and I'm gonna be squished in a few, but at the same time, um, it's really dark there, like a catacombs or something. Like it's still the underground, and it's a built base, so kind of like ancient technology and stuff. Well, ancient, like alien stuff, not early stuff. But we've been exploring, and yeah, I give it down.
Yeah, just move to the beginning of the incident and tell me what is the duration? The duration of the incident. Yeah.
The squished head is like a minute, because like the whole time it was going slowly until it broke and got like into a puddle. But before that, like 5 hours of being underground and getting into the exploring place.
Okay. Where does the go ahead? I'm sorry.
Earlier start where I'm trying to communicate with my team. As like a lot, like 15 people are going underground, and we're getting back to the base, but our connection starts interrupting. Like like how you have probably like radio on and you drive under the tunnel or stuff, and it like gets interrupted. So same stuff. Like we're trying to get to each other, and like even before we go underground, the connection is not getting through. So even if I'm trying to like hey copy hours, like tell them my message, it goes from my end, but they don't hear it. So like it gets cut off as if like you don't hear back from something. So yeah, just saying.
Okay, good. Yeah, good to know. Okay, so from the beginning of the incident, move through the incident to a point 5 hours later, and then tell me what happens.
Okay, so like I'm still looking through it, but it basically starts in the spaceship, and like we're landing on this base and going underground, and we need to like unplug the base, as in like keep it from working, because like it's really not helping. And 15 of us go underground, but this whole base is like a maze, and all of us have to act like in synchronicity. Otherwise, one wrong step and things will go sideways. As in like every step is programmed, and if you like step, like everyone has to make right step and left step, and like all of our movements are coordinated, which is why we have a specific team. And we're getting through this maze, and there's like a lot of things like touching on buttons and doing the programming, and like all of us are doing different challenges, but we have to act accordingly to each of us to do what's right until we get to the end of the maze. And in one of the steps, one of us are like, we're trying to get to each other, I mean like so that we would get the message, because we're like separated in different rooms and stuff, but we're trying to get to the end of it. And what happens is like one of us doesn't hear my message, like I'm telling them, okay, do this, and they're not hearing me, and what happens, they do different move, and that, and everything falls apart, because like one thing goes down, and like then the rest goes down as well.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Okay. Do you say, was there more to go through, or was that it?
I think it's like pretty much it. Like we can like probably rerun it, but like I already get this sort of release like, oh, it's not my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Okay, move back to the beginning of the incident. About how long ago was this in years, if it works that way?
At least 15 billion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So move back to the beginning of that incident about at least 50 billion years ago, when you had the issue with squished head and not getting back. And once you're there, just run through to the end of the incident about 5 hours later. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so it starts like even earlier where I'm being chosen for this mission and they're picking me because like I'm easily creating connections with people, and I will sort of like be able to tell their thinking, their feeling states, so I can connect with them easily enough and then copy paste everything, like, so I will know them and be fully in tune. And they're picking me like, hey, we can lead this mission. Like if you can pick up on everyone, then you can easily give off the commands, and everyone will follow you, because even without being together, you will know what they're doing and stuff. Like sure, like why not? Um, so as we go down basically, like we're spending like 5 hours like just in like all kinds of puzzles and mazes and traps and things just to get through it and get to the end of it. And what happens is that one person makes the wrong step, he gets the laser shot and like he's completely blasted off. Another one reacts to it, turns and like releases what was holding the gates, and I get squished. And you know and then we follow the communication, like once one step is wrong, like nothing goes right again.
Yeah. Well, does it seem like the incident is releasing, or is there some more emotional energy and painful charge in it?
Yeah, I think it's like sort of erased, because
Yeah.
I got the release like, oh, it's just not my thing, even though like I tried and did my best, and I see what kind of parts I play, so that's like it's easier.
Yeah. Not your fault, sort of thing.
Kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good deal. Okay. Now we were back to bring back soul aspects.
Yeah,
Soul
yeah, we can do
fragments.
that.
Yeah, you can look in this incident that you just ran and see if there's some soul aspects in that you could
Good
recover.
idea.
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So interesting, like my whole life, like out there in the incident, I was feeling like no one's hearing me, but that sort of feeling carried away, and this whole life I was feeling like, hey, no one's listening, no one's hearing me and stuff. And like as I'm getting back that part, what happens is like it just feels through me. But I used to have this issue where like I'm talking and like talking would be so hard that my throat would like ache a lot. And as I'm getting it back, like I feel like it's filling up. Like my throat has this like sort of weird feeling, but it's positive. Like I know that like whatever was holding back and like stop things from coming, it's finally getting back. And like it's a lot. It has a lot to do with communication and like being able to open it up again. So that's
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yes. Continue. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay. I was
Okay.
getting like lots of aspects back, and this has a lot to do with like communication. Because one thing was like never getting through, no one listening, and all of these things, and like it was also my issues. Like I had these fears and worries and concerns and different feelings, and it's like feels good that parts of me come back, and like I feel more confidence. Like like it's not a thing anymore, or like this whole throat thing I had, where it's like just blocks everything, is finally taking pieces away, where it's like it finally can get through and stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Good. Okay. How are we looking on the whole process there with that issue? Any more?
I think we're good. I think we're good with this one.
Okay, good. Now let's add on another little fun thing. So the story you just told me is how it is and how it has been. Uh, if that was the old story and you wanted to create a new story in your imagination, that would, the idea is that what you imagine can manifest. What of all this subject matter and subject area about people getting back to people uh, and all this, what would your new reality like to be? How would you like to manifest it, and how would you put that in your imagination as a new story?
Well, how would I like to manifest it? Like, do you mean like techniques I'm gonna use to manifest it, or what's the end result?
Hmm. No, it'd be more like how would it be if it was the way you would love it to be? Ideally, how would this situation, people write to you, you make a video, people write to you, and you see it, and your ideal, in your imagination, how would you imagine it working out just great the way you like it?
I was about to say that, like, kind of like Gary Vee, but at the same time, he's kind of saying himself that he's addicted to attention. So I would probably not go there, not that much, but I don't know, like, just it's hard to say because prioritizing my life right and getting plenty of stuff back to people as well. I just don't have enough anything like because right now just like clearing off a lot of stuff, and I just like need to digest a lot instead of putting a new picture right away.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Yeah, I'm seeing that too. We don't need to add anything new to this. We just released and cleared some stuff off that was kind of in your space that you didn't need. Done with that. Don't need to put anything else in this space. Kind of like that.
At least for now, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
yeah.
I have a lot of things right. Like lots of things are right for me, and things can be better. But for now, like I just wanna just be in tune with my new parts and like see the changes and go from there to what's the next step.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, good way. All right. Okay, for now, would this be a good place to wrap up the session, the entity work and the soul
Yeah,
aspects and the past life regression, all that stuff?
yeah, we can wrap it up.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to end the session then, and we'll turn off the recorder and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, I'll talk to you after
Good
the session.
session.
Okay, thanks. Okay, break.